Hello and welcome. This is The Last Hervey, and I'm Tucker. This is Emmett and Wyatt, my brothers. And we just got back from watching Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, at our local theater. It took a while to come locally. Small town. And what were our thoughts, guys? Or maybe we should explain if people don't know what Jumanji is.
The background
What is
of Jumanji.
Jumanji?
Yeah.
What is this movie? Like, it's a reboot, but technically a sequel?
Yeah, technically
kind
a
of
sequel.
one of those sequel reboot things.
Because it mentions Robin Williams' character from the
For
original.
the briefest
Yeah.
moment, though. Yeah.
Where Nick Jonas was living.
Oh
Yeah. You
That's
didn't
who
catch
he's talking
that?
about.
no, I didn't. I should have. I
And
honestly should have.
You're the only one who's seen the original out of
I-
the three, right?
I saw
you've
it,
seen
too.
I'm the only one that
Okay.
hasn't.
Oh,
I know
can
that that's
remember.
one I should watch just to...
I thought it was just
Very normal.
alright. I didn't really...
I might watch it again just because I
Yeah.
can't remember much.
And so, how'd you think this one compared to the original? Like,
It's not...
better or worse? Or same?
I don't know. I didn't get too much out of the original, and this one was just alright. So it's not really anything stand out between either of them.
Uh-huh.
But they're not the same kind of movie
Mhm.
either. Like,
The first one was more a little darker. Well, I don't know.
I
This one
can
got
barely
kind of
remember.
dark, but it
I
seemed
can
like
barely
the
remember
first
the other
one
one.
was trying to be a little more creepy, and then this one was a little more goofy. Like there's plenty of times where I thought they were gonna go creepy with it, but then it just came out kind of weird.
Yeah. But yeah, background that the original Jumanji board game comes to life. Board game comes into our world. This time the characters go into the game, but it's a video game that the beginning of the movie shows the board game that, oh no, board games aren't cool anymore in the
it feels bad for
90s.
itself.
In the 90s.
I grew up on board games. Of course, I don't think we were allowed to have video games
For a while.
Uh-huh. But yeah, so the board game sees the kids, oh, they're too cool for the board game. So it turns into a video game. So that's where we get that. But yeah, then the characters get sucked into the video game this time and turn into celebrities. But
Yep.
and then they are welcomed into the jungle.
By a man in a Jeep.
Yeah. Okay.
Mr. Intro Man.
So since you're the most avid video gamer out of all of us, how did you think they handled the video game aspect of it?
I thought they put more effort into it than I originally thought with the first trailers.
Mhm.
They didn't really go into any of the video game details in the first trailers of how they were going to handle any of that stuff. So when I started hearing about more of that stuff, when the good reviews came out, then I guess I was expecting a little bit. I knew what to expect more. So technically, even though going into the movie I knew they went into more detail, that detail exceeded my first expectations of the first trailers I saw.
Yeah.
It was basically like everyone else was saying. Like they have cutscenes and
Uh-huh. But yeah, for me, all of the video game aspects that they did touch on, I just felt like it was for the briefest moment, just so they just kind of a wink, like, ha, see, that's sorta like a video game, and I understand like that's not what Jumanji was about. It wasn't actually about a video game, so you don't have to throw all that stuff in there, but I felt like if they would have went a little further with that, like just certain things, like, okay, they establish there is a cutscene in one scene and then that never happens again, that it might have been a little humorous if they kept cutting back to that. And then they keep cutting back to the villains doing their own thing. Why isn't that a cutscene? Wouldn't that be funny if, like, the first time they show us this villain scene and it's played all serious, and then they reveal that the characters were watching it this whole time, and then they're reacting like, oh shoot, what does that mean then? Just stuff like that. I felt like they could have had a little more fun with.
At the beginning, they said, like, oh, well, or they were looking at the map and saying, like, oh, well, that was the first level. This must be the second level. There weren't any more levels after that.
I think every time it showed something on the map, it was supposed to be a level.
Mm-hmm.
All of the words that revealed themselves on the maps were levels.
And but then, yeah, like, I understand what he was saying, that to me they didn't feel like levels. They felt so simple, like just going from point A to point B. Again, I don't play video games at all, but I understand the basics. But, like, just, yeah, I understand why they wouldn't need to go that far, that it would end up getting really complicated, but just, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But,
kind of displayed some typical Sony
got your product
flaws.
placement in
Yeah.
there. I didn't hear a groan from you, but I could imagine it.
Yeah, because... And it's still from... They keep having product placements of old products. Why do they do that? I mean, they're not selling anything.
I don't know. I don't really know.
But yeah, just like with the seeming like a lot of things were just kind of pushed to the side instead of giving the time to make them interesting.
Any examples?
Like with the video game stuff. And, like, the villain controlling all the animals in the jungle. I was hoping for, like, the main plot just to be them surviving an onslaught of pretty much any animal in the jungle.
It felt like most of the jungle stuff wasn't touched on that much either. That there were so many scenes of just them just kind of, you know, traveling through and talking. And, yeah, sure, character development scenes, but just not enough jungle antics as I was expecting, I guess. And yeah, the villain, he has the power to control all the animals in the jungle, but he didn't do it a whole lot. And was he made of animals? Just animals kept coming out of him, and just that stuff I thought was odd. But
Yeah.
What'd we think of the cast? Just again, this whole movie I thought was and that's kind of what I got from the cast too myself. But
Yeah, we were all surprised, I think, that Nick Jonas was a little better actor than we thought he was going to be. But
I was expecting the worst from him, and he was good. I thought he worked really well. Watching him, like, if I didn't already know, he was a musician going into acting, which does not work out very well normally. That there are a few cases, but just, yeah, I was surprised that he held his own. He was pretty good. He worked in the dramatic moments really well, and he had a couple good laughs or chuckles. I never laughed. The entire theater, they were busting a gut. They loved it. Apparently a lot of people love it. That's why, since I didn't, I'm like hesitant. Please don't hate me. Apparently Jumanji is the thing right now. But just, yeah, I don't remember laughing or even really chuckling that much. The humor wasn't my thing. I knew that. Well, watching the trailers, anyone who thought the trailers were hilarious, then they're gonna love the movie. I did not think the trailers were very good or funny, and it's kind of what I got with the movie. But the trailers, I thought the movie was gonna be horrible. It wasn't horrible. It's just, It
was more of a lazy movie than a bad movie.
And yeah, again, people seem to just be loving this so much. So, yeah, I would agree. It felt really lazy sometimes. A lot of the humor, just all the stuff about male anatomy felt really cheap. A really cheap way to go. Which brings me to the point. Video game characters. Why would this magical game turn them into video game characters and give them anatomy, give them the ability to need to relieve themselves inside the game? Like, wouldn't
Not
that...
very many games that have that mechanic.
Uh-huh.
I haven't played any.
Okay, you're trekking through the jungle. Up, push the A button to do your business, your daily routine, squatting in the bushes. Hey, this is fun. But wouldn't that have been hilarious instead of bringing up and milking that joke for forever? But wouldn't it have been a lot funnier if someone would have brought it up, since there's the whole gag about the hot girl being Jack Black? If someone mentioned, hey, do you have that? And then they all realize, oh, none of us have those parts, because why does a video game need them? Just they're action figures. That would have been funnier, a little more creative than what they did go with it, and just again, the audience we were with was whooping and hollering.
The adults were. All the children they brought apparently were scared.
Yeah. Or I'm talking about the scenes revolving around that. where they scared, oh no, wiener jokes, mommy, no.
Yeah, I meant
that's how I was reacting.
Yeah, pretty much. Though that was the main time where I was just like, oh, film, why?
Because it went on for so long. Just... But, yeah, most everyone else found it funny. There was a lot of humor like that. Like, the whole dance fighting bit, first, that whole scene where the hot girl, Jack Black, was training the other girl to flirt, because they needed to distract these guards. That went on so long. It felt like 10-15 minutes of just kind of filler that you could have cut right to the chase, and just there was stuff like that. And then they kept building up this whole dance fighting. She went from dancing with the guards to just fighting them. I didn't understand the dance fighting and why they kept building that up, but just stuff like that. But yeah, if we're going to talk jungle movies with The Rock, I would recommend Journey to the Mysterious Island more than this. That they're similar. They're very similar. They're goofy, so-called family movies. People call this Jumanji a family movie. I wouldn't. It could have been, but just so many male anatomy jokes, and the villain was apparently scaring the crap out of the little kids. But yeah,
very small, like under 10 years old.
Sure,
that was
little kids. But
kind of weird that they brought such young kids. But oh well, apparently that's normal.
Yeah. Every day I'm hearing about parents bringing their kids to the new horror movie, and it's like, don't do that. I understand wanting to bring your kid to the new adventure comedy with The Rock and Jack Black and Kevin Hart, but yeah, I thought Jumanji and Journey were very similar movies, but I ended up having more fun with Journey myself.
A lot more fun, yeah.
But yeah, that's just difference of opinions. So. know.
So, do we want to give it a rating?
Yeah, sure. What do you got?
Yeah, well, for our theatrical ratings, movie reviews, we're gonna give number ratings.
Mhm.
I'm leaning towards like a maybe a 6.5. I don't know.
I'll go one lower than you, 5.5.
Yeah.
Just, it's not one I'm gonna watch again. I wasn't entirely impressed with it, but yeah, other people are gonna enjoy it. It just wasn't my kind of humor, and yeah, it's not gonna, or it didn't impact me much. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Hmm.
where do you sit?
I'll probably give it a 6.5 too. Just
Okay,
I found it mildly entertaining.
sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything else we want to say?
I don't know. Don't eat cake, I guess.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Little things like that, like just I didn't get it. Like it was so random, it didn't make sense. That it was the kind of joke, if you do think about it even for a second, it won't be funny. So you're not really supposed to think a whole lot
Like-
about these jokes, but just like weaknesses being random things like cake and just a mosquito bite. Like
Mhm.
just if it's actually supposed to be a video game, would that make any sense if you're playing like Assassin's Creed and a bird pooped on you, you're dead? Stuff like just
You're one with the Eagles.
But yeah, I understand that that's the joke, but
Mm-hmm.
just
And like they made a comment that when they're trying to figure out what exactly was happening, that maybe he just couldn't resist it, and that would have been funnier if he just
anytime cake
suddenly
popped up, then he's
just,
like
"Ooh,
drawn
cake!"
to it like a magnet, and he can't do anything except
since-
eat cake, and they
because
need him to. They need his help with something,
They
but no cake.
would make jokes that like if they had certain abilities or disabilities, that then those were their like they just had to do those things, and so but
Uh-huh.
why not? I don't know.
Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
those are my final thoughts. Don't eat cake.
Yeah, don't eat cake. I guess that's all.
Yeah.
See you later.